Welcome back to the Hunting Journal. Thank you for watching. Recently I had the chance to conduct further testing on the Element Helix telescope. This model is the 2 to 16 by 15 millimeter from Element Optics, and I was eager to see how it performed under various conditions using the RAPTR-1 Reticle. The reticle design allows for quick holdover marks for different ranges when it's calibrated to any of your centerfire rifles. For the test, I used two steel targets set at distances ranging from 100 to 400 meters. The setup was identical to the one we used in the previous video, so if you missed that initial test and results, I recommend checking it out in the link provided to revisit the earlier review. During these sessions I was shooting a .308 Winchester loaded with 165 grain Nosler Accubond bullets with velocity of 2,630 feet a second. On the day of shooting, there was a left to right wind blowing at approximately 13 miles an hour. And for the shots between 100 and 300, I deliberately did not make wind adjustments, just to see what kind of impact the wind has on the bullet flight path. And we were also more unsteady. This time around we were shooting from a vehicle, which is naturally less stable than shooting from a bench. And initially we felt a little bit out of practice, but after settling in, we got more accurate around the 300 meter mark, and we engaged those more accurately. If you have a solid shot anywhere between 100 and 400 meters, you should find success with this setup. I'm extremely pleased with the overall performance, and the scope will remain a permanent fixture on my rifle for the foreseeable future. In addition to the shooting tests, I also added the opportunity to deploy trail cameras at various locations on the farm. These cameras managed to capture some remarkable and interesting footage, which I plan to share in this video. And if you enjoy that kind of content, please let me know in the comments, and I'll consider uploading a dedicated video featuring game camera highlights. Enough of that, let's get back to the shooting. Center groot. There you go. At 200 meters, we used the first hash line to compensate for bullet drop. That was close, but not as accurate as I know the system is. I was a little bit rusty on this day, but we will get settled in soon. Started on the small gong there, but we're going to move over to the big gong just to confirm calibration. At 300 meters, we are using the second hash line. That's a much more accurate shot at 300. Wind was pushing us slightly off to the left, to the right, but it's still acceptable accuracy. I must say that 6-inch target gets quite small at 300 meters and also at 400, but it was still easy to engage those targets.
Right, 308.
Pull at your puss. Get lucky, please.
Yeah, he needs a bit of luck, and
And you got it.
he's got it. Yeah. What's a dose? Can you translate for us? No, you can't. All right. That's it.
Okay, we pulled that shot a little bit off target, but we do re-engage to see if we can make a hit. And as you can see on the plate, it was about the 3 o'clock position, almost 3 o'clock position, and the elevation is close to where I need it, but obviously the wind pushed it a good 6 inches to the right, and I think a little bit of shooting technique error there contributed to that shot as well. But remember, we're looking to see if the height of the bullet compensation is actually quite accurate or not, but so far in these tests we find it consistently accurate. Let's see what happens with the second shot. And the second shot is also off to the right, and that elevation is about perfectly in the middle of the gong, and that's what we want to see. I think if I held a little bit for wind, we would have had better results there, but we did learn from those 2 shots, and we held off on the small target, just on the 9 o'clock position. Well, we favored the left side of the small plate. Okay, on the big gong, that's about a 2-inch group at 400 meters. Both of them, the elevation I'm happy with. Just if I knew a little bit more about what the lines mean on the reticle, I could have known those values and held relevant to the distance that we're shooting. But both of those shots, when it comes to the height, I'm happy with. It is close to the center of the target, and I am confident that this holdover will actually give you the correct compensation for your bullet drop. A little closer look, in short, just at the windage values on each of those horizontal lines. Another built-in feature of the horizontal lines is the value of each line. The width of each line actually equates to a value. So in short, if you look at the range card for 300 meters, those results are for 13 mile an hour winds. So on the range card, it states that you will have to hold 0.4 mrad off to the left to compensate for wind. Now for 300 meters, you use your second hash line, which is indicated by the letter E. And if you look at the block at the letter E, it shows the end of that line equates to 0.4 mrad. So I suspect that these lines are also calibrated for 10 mile an hour winds, And if we had this information earlier, if I knew it earlier, we could have actually used this to hold for your wind compensation. Just another example, your 400 meter range card there indicates that you would have held 0.6 MRAD. Look at the letter F in the column on the left hand side. The end of the horizontal line equates to a 0.55. So if we held 0.55 MRAD as the width of that line indicates, we would have been much closer to the center of the target. So who is this telescope intended for? It is designed for hunters seeking to maximize the potential of their rifles and extend their effective shooting distances within ethical hunting practices. Traditionally, distances of 300 to 400 meters were considered challenging due to the limitations of duplex reticles. This product also caters to hunters who desire high-quality optics from a reputable brand. Element Optics is recognized worldwide in various disciplines and has benefited from the expertise of South African professional shooters, further enhancing its credibility and reliability. The scope is suitable for users who require a straightforward solution for shooting at varying ranges, thanks to its broad magnification range. For shorter distances, the red dot at the center of the reticle assists with quick target acquisition, while holdover marks facilitate compensation for bullet drop at longer distances. The reticle is user-friendly, requiring only the distance without the need for additional adjustments or ballistic applications. The scope excels in rapid target acquisition and delivers consistent, reliable results. However, it is recommended to test the scope at the specific distances relevant to your intended use, as this will enhance your confidence and marksmanship skills. In summary, this telescope is an excellent choice for those aiming to upgrade from a duplex reticle and will become a valuable addition to most rifles.
Just don't get it.
Ah, dan pull at je doos.